Uh,
Uh,
wow.
wow. Sorry.
They did it.
Yeah,
That was really graphic. I can't.
it was gross,
It was
almost.
really bad. I did not need to see Thanos' butt like that. And
Yeah, Ant-Man just went right up inside it.
yeah,
They should have lubed him up when he was tiny. They
yeah,
would have saved a lot of
a
lube.
little bit. Yeah, a
They
little
could have
bit.
just dipped him in a bottle of lube
I
instead of just covering up when he was
I
big.
agree. I agree. And listen, I mean, clearly he's the hero of the whole thing. But like, man, where has Paul Rudd's career gone?
Right up Josh Brolin's ass.
Excellent. All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Welcome
Yeah.
to the Weekly Undertaking. I am Mike.
I'm Alex, and for those of you who without a sense of humor,
Or
that
internet
was,
access.
That was a joke, or was it?
There-
It may or may not have been an actual spoiler from this movie.
You gotta see it. So for those of you, I guess just for purpose of introduction, this is the opening weekend of Avengers Endgame,
Huzzah!
and Alex and I saw the movie last night, less than 24 hours ago.
Yes.
And this is going to be our review of what I think is one of the best and most satisfying movies that I've seen in a very long time.
I agree. And yeah, we kind of just fucked around a little bit and made sure that we could just talk about this movie for an entire episode, even though it's kind of like a push for our normal stuff.
Oh, what do you mean? Oh yeah, this isn't really a challenge, so to speak,
Well,
as much as
It was a challenge not to cry.
that's accurate. Actually, this was very emotional.
But for the new people just joining in for this review, what we normally do is pick from a little bucket, which actually is not here right now, but
We'll get it.
Yeah, we pick from a bucket and we have a challenge that we have to do for a whole week, and then we talk about it at the end of the week, and that's the podcast.
yeah, we the focus of the podcast normally is self-improvement and trying new things and expanding our horizons. and
This
stuff.
week was just like falling in line with everyone else in the world and seeing this fucking movie.
Well, it's also we're huge nerds,
Oh yes.
and we just kind of need some outlet to process what the hell we just saw.
Exactly, and I think we're gonna have a good dynamic, you and me, because you have been a comic book reader your entire life,
Pretty much,
and
yeah.
I really did not care about superheroes really at all until the MCU came around.
He's one of those mainstream nerd culture people, you know, the plebeians.
In this specific place, yes,
Yeah.
but in other nerd genres, absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, but
you know, we each have our push and pulls.
we each have our genre. Yeah, exactly.
But needless to say, we have both been in riding the MCU since 2008. So
Since Iron Man,
Yeah.
the very first one.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So this, please, if you before we get into the details, if you have any love at all whatsoever for the MCU and any part of it, go see this movie.
yeah,
It's like
that's our spoiler-free review. Done.
pretty much. It's like, I mean, I had a question of whether or not this movie was going to because Infinity War was just so perfect. So that the question of will this movie actually do well in following that up was on my mind, and I thought they did it well.
This movie, in a weird way, it was like the first movie where I saw like the collective everybody be like, no, this movie's gonna be the fucking second coming.
Yeah.
It's gonna be amazing. Like there was a little bit of like, this may be okay for Infinity War, but for this one, I really didn't see anyone be like, let's not get our hype too high, guys. You know,
Yeah.
But everyone let their hype get way out of control, and it's still satisfied.
It still owned it, and yeah, I've read that Marvel, Disney, whatever you want to call it, is such a marketing genius. I've read that they're projected to make nearly $1 billion in the opening weekend
Hooray!
of the movie.
I gotta buy more stock quickly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that right after this episode.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's insane how big this movie is. And so we are going to, for the rest of this podcast,
And here is your one and only warning. Continue.
spoiler warning.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I meant.
Yeah, it's we're gonna go through this movie beat by beat and just kind of break it down and break apart what was one of the most magnificent cinema experiences I've ever had.
We're literally going to talk about every single part of this movie. You will be left with nothing if you listen to this.
So please, if you haven't already, go watch Endgame.
And if you have, then relax.
Yeah.
Chill out. But first, now that we're done and all the people who are getting out of here, I'm just going to give you an extra 30 seconds just to be safe. If you're like driving a car, give you some time to pull over. Mike, how was your week otherwise?
I mean, it was good, but it was overshadowed by this monster of a movie.
It was just, the same. Literally my entire week was like, don't get spoiled by Endgame, don't get spoiled by Endgame, and just like stay low all week.
Oh yeah, if you haven't watched it and are still somehow tuning in,
I'm impressed.
Stay away from the internet.
Yeah, no.
Because it's crawling with spoilers.
Don't read any comments.
Never. Do not click on a single comment section.
Absolutely.
Absolutely not. Okay. 5,
now,
4.
I think everyone's gone. Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Okay, cool.
Well, wait, before we get started.
Okay.
Well, now we are spoiling things. But you said last night before we watched it that you got spoiled at one little thing. I want you to tell me what it was. Also, I'm gonna real quick.
Alex is going to change a thing, but
I'm back.
The thing that I got spoiled, I was scrolling through the comment section of a meme page that had nothing to do with Avengers, and the one comment I read was Iron Man dies.
Really?
Yeah.
Aww.
Which was...
And you still had the nerve to come to say to me when we were eating pizza, I think Iron Man's gonna die in this movie.
I think everybody knew that this was the end of Iron Man. This is the logical conclusion of his story arc. You know, he said this to Alex yesterday, but I'm gonna repeat it here. Is everything that every one of Tony Stark's movies is an arc of him becoming more and more responsible. Like, we saw him as the party playboy that becomes Iron Man because he gets worried that or he becomes concerned that his weapons business is killing American soldiers.
Yeah.
And in Civil War, he becomes his entire motivation is we are responsible for the deaths that were in Sokovia. So he sponsored the Sokovia Accords. He tried to get everyone in line.
He is definitely a character who's motivated by guilt, and that's why
I don't know if that's... Yeah, sure, I guess. But a sense of responsibility. I don't know if necessarily guilt is his...
That's why he becomes Iron Man.
Yeah,
that's why he signs on to the Soviet Accords. And that's why in this movie, he fucking invents time travel.
He does invent time travel.
But I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, but like the logical conclusion I was going to say is like he pretty much became a father to Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And so when Peter Parker died, it's like, okay, well now he's got to get his kid back. And then he's done. There's nothing else to really do.
Yeah, well,
then he became a real dad.
And then I responded to you by saying, like, Iron Man, Tony made a promise to Pepper in the beginning of Infinity War that he couldn't fulfill, that he was done being a hero and was ready to settle down with a family. I'm like, his arc can't be complete until he gets that family. And then the time jump happens, and then he gets a family. I'm like, well, he's dead.
One thing that I think they handled this really well is they also... Nothing that happened could have been anticipated by anyone.
They really just like they just like kind of like threw curveball after curveball and set up just a scenario that was just so unexpected that just like the most logical part from like that unexpected setup is all unexpected.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yes. Okay, so you have notes. Alex took notes for this episode.
Yes, well, not notes. I had re-recorded from my memory and from the Wikipedia article, which someone loaded all the spoilers onto.
What piece of shit did that?
I don't know. They just wrote the plot, like the entire plot.
That sucks.
But I used that to like double check my memory. I would say don't go to the Wikipedia page, but hopefully, if you're listening at this point, you've seen the movie. This is a safe space now. We can talk about this movie.
No more spoilers starting now. Spoiler alerts starting now.
Starting like 5 minutes ago, man.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, I wrote down just like a sentence thing for every little story beat that happens in this movie. Okay. It's 3 pages.
Well, what's the first thing? The first thing that happened was...
the Hawkeye's opening scene.
Oh, yeah, that was beautiful.
Before the logo even. And I thought that was perfect.
The cold open of seeing Clint Barton was just...
It was perfect.
So magnificently done. Of like, it's him showing his daughter how to shoot an arrow, which is just so perfect and
of course.
so nice.
That's what he teaches his kids.
Yeah, and it motivates his character for the rest of the movie. It was just so beautifully done because it's like we've had a year to process the heartbreak that we first felt when we saw the snap of everybody getting dusted.
Yep.
And so to reopen that in such a way that it just, we re-felt that wound. We re-felt the hurt that we had processed over the past year.
Hawkeye was one of the only Avengers we haven't seen react to the snap before this movie. And I think it was very important to just show that one last side.
It also killed me that he didn't even see any of
He
the
didn't even
deaths.
watch it happen.
No.
He just turned around.
And it was gone.
And everyone was gone. And he's just like, what the hell just happened?
So painful. Oh, man. And then they immediately just went into the credits sequence of, like, the... Oh, I guess
The Marvel logo.
Yeah, the Marvel logo. That is the credit sequence,
Yeah,
right?
it's just one logo.
Yeah.
That's all they need. We get it.
Yeah, it was... So, I've never seen Marvel ever do a cold open like that before. But just...
I'm sure they've done it, and I just can't think of one.
Maybe, but I don't... Regardless, the use of it here was just so...
It was good.
It was perfect. It was literally just caught me off guard, just like it caught
It was a
him off
great
guard.
tone setter for the first third of this movie.
Yes.
Just like fucking bummer.
Oh, God.
That's the tone of the first third.
For the rest of the next, I want to say like 45 minutes.
At least maybe even an hour.
We just saw the entire Marvel universe
Be sad.
in mourning.
Yeah, which is, I think it's very important. And people were, I was listening to some reviews, even just this week of like non-spoiler reviews before I saw it. And people were saying like, and I agree with this, that Avengers Infinity War may be the better like paced movie overall, just like without context. But if this movie didn't have like a super slow beginning, then the last movie wouldn't feel like it was like as world breaking as it was.
Exactly.
It had to happen this way.
You had to see the impact of the snap and everything like that.
And I was fine with it. And it was crazy to me.
fine with it. I was beyond fine with it. It made you really feel things. And,
Like, yeah, slow opens I'm usually not cool with, but this was like this was great.
yeah.
And I want to talk about stuff later, but I want to try and stay in order.
Oh yeah, of course. It's just it was okay. So after the credits, we saw
Tony and Nebula.
right. They were playing like paper football or something like that.
And that was adorable because you could tell it meant so much to Nebula to just like play a game like with no like consequences.
I mean, she was just so competitive. It was the first fun moment of the movie, but it felt so empty in the wake of the and I think that's also part of the greatness of the first beat of Hawkeye's family rather being dusted, is it just made everything feel so damn empty after it, because that's a gag that later in the movie would have been hysterical to see Tony Stark and alien robot woman playing paper freaking football.
Yeah, but now it's just like, their context, they're really just trying to get anywhere, but mainly for Tony Earth.
I also gotta give it to the makeup or CGI team or whatever they used to make Robert Downey Jr. look like he was starving to death.
Yeah, he looked very, very like sickly,
emaciated.
I was very impressed.
Yeah.
I noticed that too.
Yeah.
And then of course they were saved by Captain Marvel.
Which I want to say, it's the entrance that everybody was expecting to be super badass, and it's just she's there.
It was just super somber.
She was there.
It was super quiet and quaint, and it made sense if you've seen Captain Marvel and the end credit scene. Rocket was there, so he probably had like some sort of tracker on the ship.
Yeah, I will say every other Marvel like end credit sequence that references a future movie
isn't like essential.
Well, no, it's also just in the actual movie itself.
Yeah,
but the end credit scene to Captain Marvel was not in the actual movie.
Yeah, we're kind of just like let off with like, we don't have time for that, but
yeah, but you get it.
But it makes sense. It all worked out.
Yeah.
And then after that, I remember Tony and Cap's first like moments. The first thing Tony said to Cap was like, "I lost the kid," and that was just like, oh my god.
It was a very raw moment of the Avengers in defeat immediately after the snap of everybody just getting together and being crushed, and you saw the previously mentioned Tony's responsibility come out, and which he was like, ugh, God, that just hit so hard of like, Cap, you weren't there. You said we lose together. Well, we lost together. And what the hell does that give a... Oh, God. It was such good acting.
It was, yeah.
RDJ is such a good actor.
Yeah. Both, RDJ and Chris Evans, I think this is my favorite performance from both of them.
I'd agree with that. I'd agree with that.
They both knocked it out of the park with this one.
And then they just freaking go to Thanos and kill him immediately.
Well, if you say it like that, but like, you know, they're just like, well, first they're like, you know, Cap curses. He said, "Let's go get this son of a bitch."
He does do that.
Then we get the title card, of course.
Oh yeah, this is all before the title card.
And then they straight up they just like, nonchalantly fly to the planet. They know where he is because he used these stones 2 days ago again. Captain Marvel goes down to do some recon, and she's just like, "Yeah, it's just him."
Yeah,
and then
and then they just off him. It's just the moment that we have anticipated for the entirety of since the snap happens within the first 5 minutes of this freaking movie.
Yeah, like you go down there and you just see Thanos. He's just in a shirt. He's just like in a regular shirt.
He has his victory of he's farming in a peaceful universe,
and he's just like super chill with just like hanging out forever. And then the most amazing part that like follows through on all of Thanos's like what he said in the previous movie was when they ambush him. Thor cuts off his arm immediately, which is smart.
And
then they check and the stones are gone. Right. And Thanos is just like, "Yeah, I destroyed them because all they provided for me after the snap was temptation." And I'm just like, yeah, he was serious. That's all he wanted them for.
It was a Thanos victory moment. It really was. It was oh god,
he saw it as his victory.
And then of course we had the great line where Thor chops off his head and just goes, and then Rocky goes, "What did you just do?" And Thor goes, "I went for the head."
Of course.
Which is just it's the line that we were all expecting, and I give the Russo brothers massive props for making it seem so empty. Like this is exactly what we've been waiting for.
This is not like it does not feel like a victory
at all.
Like he was like legit. If they never like went to kill him and like nothing happened, like Thanos would have just done nothing for the rest of his life.
Yeah,
like they didn't save anything. That was just revenge. That wasn't avenging. That was revenging.
Exactly, and it was pointless.
And it felt empty afterwards. You're right.
And then they had the balls to do one of the they skipped ahead of they just let this world in which half the population is gone just continue to play out for 5 years.
Yeah, like that title card was insane. Like it came up so slowly. It was like 5, and I'm like, no. And it was like years. I was like, don't do it. I was like later. I was like, oh, they're gonna do it. What?
And then it was just skipping ahead to 5 years after the snap, and it was, it was that move in and of itself made me realize, oh, this is going to be nothing like anything anyone predicted.
This is going to just be so crazy.
Yeah.
And just like the few scenes we get before Ant-Man enters the ring, before and after the 5 years later jump, you just tell everyone has just like a tone of sad acceptance to them.
Right.
Just no one there is smiling. Just everyone has their head held down. Just like we lost a long time ago, and the world is just kind of dark now.
Yeah, like I said, it was just a moment of grief for everybody. And of course, Cap's running a freaking support group.
Which is, and one of the Russo brothers was in the circle.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah, he was the one. He went on a date with a. He was the one who went on a date
with. Yeah. It
was either Joe or Anthony Russo. I don't know which one.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's such a nice touch.
It was a nice touch, right?
Yeah, it was a great moment.
I was like, hey, it's one of them.
Yeah,
I don't know who is who. Sorry, because I know you're listening.
I don't think the Russo brothers are listening. And if you are, please come on the show. We have many questions to interview about.
Yeah, now you can talk about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Hang out with Phil Lewis. Damn it! I swore to myself I wouldn't mention him in this episode.
God, I want to do a segment.
No,
on him
we
so
can't.
Bad.
We don't have time.
So bad.
But for those of you who are just joining, we're kind of obsessed with Phil Lewis, and we have a theme song about him. But check out last week's episode if you're interested in that.
We'll do another segment sometime in the future. Anyway,
after that, Scott Lang, Ant-Man. Escapes the quantum realm because of a rat
through chance. Again, learns one of the most theorized about moments of how does Ant-Man escape the quantum realm? A rat just steps on a button.
And a lot of people are fucking mad about that, and I don't understand why. No. Because the thing is, I would be upset about that if it was 3 days later and then he escapes. But no, this was 5 years.
Yeah,
they jumped to just the point when he escaped. It just He was there for 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I think makes it okay.
Yeah, and we also get a clip of Black Widow running this intergalactical
Yeah, intergalactic.
that's it. Intergalactic crime watch point thing in which she's just kind of looking for. I think the goal was she was looking for the stones, right? To see if Thanos actually destroyed them.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like a global search, I think, but like also like a intergalactic support group. Excuse me.
Yeah, we see Rocket, we see Captain Marvel, who I will mention was not in this movie near as much as I expected.
Yeah, she played like she was like a interesting sort of background role, but it also made sense that she wasn't always there because like again she made it. She said it herself. Like Earth is like one of like a million planets who are going through this, and I'm trying to be there for as many of them as possible.
Which is a legit explanation. It just kind of surprised me that they didn't use her as much as they.
Yeah, and she didn't have to go like back to she didn't have to do like the past stuff with them because she didn't have to go.
No, she didn't.
It wasn't required. And when she was used in the movie, she was great.
Yep.
I loved every scene with her.
Yeah. Okay. So moving forward.
Oh yeah.
Then we have
Scott
Paul Rudd.
He learns what had happened. He sees like the huge memorial place.
Oh yeah, and we get a beautiful moment of him reuniting with a 15-year-old Cassie.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is 15. Yeah, it was 5 years. She was like around 10, I think.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Yeah, and she
he sold it well.
Yeah, this movie is full of very tender moments. And if we give each moment enough time, as much time as it deserves, this podcast will never freaking end.
Yeah, we're jumping past a few things, of course, but
see the movie.
This can't be like a 5-hour podcast.
I mean, it totally could.
Absolutely, I'm already accepted the fact that we're pushing like way over an hour with this episode. So lucky you.
But yeah, then we skip ahead to Scott Lang, explaining to Captain America and Black Widow. Just like, yeah, it was 5 hours in the quantum realm for me, and maybe we could go back and like fix everything and stuff like that. And this is one of the moments that kind of bothered me a little bit. Is like Ant-Man was such a great scientifically accurate movie and movie franchise. It's the most like if you break down all the physics of what it would be like to shrink down and stuff like that, the first Ant-Man is like almost to a T, like incredible.
It's got a few things wrong with it.
It's great, but it's the most accurate one. Like the physics of going down, but the density is still the same. So when you land, it just like the ground explodes. It went a little bit awry with Ant-Man 2, but it was great. And then but they kind of threw that out the window when the Pym particles were able to travel through time and stuff like that.
Yeah, but you know
what? That
what?
wasn't necessarily a problem for me. It just kind of surprised me.
It wasn't just Ant-Man. Tony was the one who invented time travel.
He did.
So
he totally did.
All the credit to him, and that's another reason he needed to die. He's just too powerful now.
Yeah.
When you can invent time travel, you'd have to go.
Yeah, you're done. You're done.
That's why Doc died in the beginning of Back to the Future. Spoiler alert for a different movie.
Yeah. It took me a second to switch gears, but yeah, I guess so.
Anyway, let's continue.
Okay, what's next on your little note thing?
Scott suggests time travel. They go to Tony.
Oh yeah, who now has a little daughter and such a.
And I thought, perfect.
Yeah.
This is when I was like, this is exactly what Tony has to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, he can't like live with himself forever because we know he's been trying to figure out time travel probably for a while.
Yeah.
Because he had the same idea and he's still going for it because he knows if he can do anything, he's got to try or else he won't be able to sleep.
Right. And so there was a great moment in which he was like, we rolled the dice once, we lost all these people, I can't roll the dice again, I have a family, and of course he rolls the dice again because if he didn't, we wouldn't have a movie.
He has to, like finally, like Tony has like a physical thing that he has to like attend to, and he has to like this will always come first.
Right, and it was just so beautiful seeing Tony in that role.
And then he discovers time travel that night, and he's just like, shit! And then his daughter learns that word, and that's hilarious.
That's such a nice thing. Of just like, Tony, just like, shit, no, you can't say that. Shit.
That's mommy's word.
That's mommy's word. Such a great line. And also after there was such a great scene in which after Tony says no, they go to Bruce Banner, who somehow figures out how to work the rift between the Hulk and Bruce Banner so they can both coexist at the same time.
He becomes Professor Hulk.
He becomes Professor Hulk.
And well, I mean, 5 years, I'll buy it.
Yeah, and then it was just such a funny interaction.
It's so weird. Yeah.
Of the kids come up for the celebrity for this because they're like, oh my god, it's the Hulk, and they try to take a picture, and Ant-Man's like, I want a picture.
You want a picture with me, kids? You want a picture with Ant-Man? And the one's just like, and then the Hulk's like, yeah, no, take it with him.
And it was just such a funny interaction of the Hulk being like, no, I feel bad, just go take and the kids are so trying to get away.
They're like, no. That's just a dude.
Those are the moments that I live for.
But it also makes sense because he's been gone for 5 years.
Of course, it makes sense.
So no one knows who Ant-Man is.
Like anyone knew who Ant-Man was from the beginning.
Because he's always so tiny.
Yeah, exactly.
But this movie when it jokes around, it kills.
It lands. It does so well.
I think every joke hit in this movie for me.
Oh, I agree.
Anyway.
But yeah, it was so then we went to and then they tried to then Bruce Banner tried to figure out time travel and turned Scott Lang into an old man, a baby, a teenager, and everything
basically
in between.
It didn't work.
Yeah, it was very funny. And then Tony Stark pulls up in his sports convertible and it's just like, yeah, get out of here, I know how to do this shit.
He gives Cap back his shield.
Oh yeah, such a badass moment.
That's when they like completely reconcile.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we skipped over a little part that
what did we
back
skip
when Tony discovered time travel.
Oh yeah, with the Pepper scene.
Yeah,
right?
He talked to Pepper, and Pepper just like right when he said, "Oh yeah, I figured out time travel." By the way, she knew like you have to do it.
Yeah, what was happening?
And he was like trying to convince him to get out of it because he also knew he was gonna do it.
Of course he did.
But no, she was like, "No, you have to do it.
You gotta go.
Just come home when you're done."
Yeah, exactly.
Type thing. But
it was so nice. And then they
Then Tony figures out time travel, and then the rest of the Avengers go off to recruit the other rest of the Avengers.
That's right. And also, we find out in an earlier scene, I forget which scene, but we find out that Clint Barton has gone Punisher on us.
Yeah, that's the scene that we're doing right now.
Oh, is it?
Well, yeah. Well, Nat finds Clint.
Yeah. And he does this whole thing of he's pulling the Punisher, he's beating up the Yakuza, and it's such a great. It's a very fun scene.
He's just killing it.
But it's. God, I want a whole movie of just Hawkeye being
just
Punisher.
Being angry.
Yeah, there is a character named for him in the comics, but it was after I stopped reading.
Was it Ronin?
No, Ronin the Accuser was the main enemy of Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's something like that.
Yeah,
I'd look it up, but you know what?
We have
other things to talk about. It does start with an R, so I don't feel that bad.
Yeah, but then they go and they recruit the Punisher, Hawkeye,
and then Professor Hulk and Rocket travel to New Asgard, which I love. Mm-hmm. That the rest, like 25% of the remaining Asgardians, just like built a little fishing town in Norway. I think it was Norway.
I mean, that would make sense.
It should be Norway.
It's Norse, or they could actually have done it in the remnants of Asgard. Oh no, they couldn't, because then unless the big lava man was killed in the snap.
No, they are on Earth.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
It's not like intergalactic travel is out of the question here.
They were riding on a truck.
Yeah, and what? They can't have trucks in Asgard?
Okay, but it was on Earth. And Valkyrie's back.
Yes.
And so is Korg and Meek, my two favorite people.
We found out where Valkyrie was during the whole Infinity War thing.
I think in the first shot, like, you saw like a ship flying away, and that was like the other half of Asgard that didn't get killed.
Oh.
It was very loosely implied.
Okay.
But I'm glad they're okay and they're all hanging out. Then Professor Hulk and Rocket find Thor playing Fortnite with Korg and Meek.
Oh yeah, and he's fat.
And
he's
fat.
He's such a great.
And Taika's back as Korg, and I love him. Every line.
It was just it's such a fun little movie, a little touch of we find out that Thor has spent every waking moment since he killed Thanos
drinking beer,
just getting drunk, and he's got this huge beer belly, and it's fantastic because it's like Chris Hemsworth, I'm sure, was named sexiest person of the year for the past 6 years running, and if that's not true, it should be. Yeah. But he's just this overweight guy, and it was just such a nice twist for the character.
I have a joke to shoot back at you, but I have to wait until we go to another part because I want to talk about it anyway. No.
You don't want to?
Yes.
You don't want to make a joke?
No.
Okay.
I will.
Okay.
Just remind me.
Okay.
Later.
Am I going to know when the joke
No.
Okay.
Well, I'll remember. But, yeah, after a lot of talking, they convinced Thor to come back.
Oh, yeah. They do a very... Because clearly Thor is dealing with post-traumatic stress.
Oh, yeah. No, he's just avoiding all of his demons by getting drunk.
And so...
it's a very human thing to do.
Yeah. And... You know, there's this whole dynamic of Hulk is like, we can stop Thanos, and Thor's like, what do you mean? I killed Thanos. I took off his head. What else do you wanna do?
We can stop him, but like sooner.
Yeah, it was a great interaction. Props to CGI Mark Ruffalo.
He killed it, and
CGI Thor.
I also love that the deciding factor for Thor was Rocket just being like, There's beer on the ship.
Well, yeah.
Of course.
Well, that was how he convinced himself. He knew he wanted to do it, but
he's like, all right, I'll get drunk.
Yeah.
Anyway, everyone goes back, and then they have this I love this scene for some reason. They're all just because it reminds me of like super fans just sitting in a basement. Mm-hmm. Like they're all just like, all right, the Infinity Stone was here at this point. The Infinity Stone was here at this point. The Power Stone was on Morag here. Like they're all just like super geeking out.
They totally do like a fan post of like a map of where every stone is throughout history.
And the Black Widow in those scenes is just like I could totally tell it's just like Scarlett Johansson just in real life trying to like follow anything. Like she's taking notes. And
she's the one that's keeping it all together. Yeah.
But I loved that. I loved that scene. It was just so precious.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I keep thinking of things. But I also love that Thor the Dark World had to be an important part of this plot. But since everyone forgot about Thor the Dark World, Thor had to spend 30 seconds telling everyone the whole plot of that movie really quick.
Yeah, I've noticed they've done that in the past few really, really strong Marvel movies. Is they take the universally hated ones
and just describe them real quick to get you caught up.
Oh no, they make them crucial. Like for example, the main villain in Civil War, he was played by William Hurt.
Zemo.
No, yes, Zemo. Yes, General Zemo was the main villain in The Incredible Hulk. The first.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, he was it was, and nobody likes him at all, ever. And so they brought him back because they're just like, we gotta make it relevant to the Marvel universe. We can't just ditch that one.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that.
And they used every part of even the shittiest movies, and I like that. And this one, they made Thor: The Dark World a crucial component.
I mean, they didn't have a choice. Yeah. The Aether showed up in no other place at no other time. The only other choice was going to the Collector,
which
they could have done.
Yeah, that's a legitimate thing. Yeah.
But I don't know. I liked that they went back to Asgard.
Oh, I do too. It worked very, very well.
So yeah, after that, they eventually decided to split into 3 teams because they learned that 3 of the Infinity Stones were all in New York at one point.
Yes,
which is awesome.
And then they do the sitcom finale bit for the second act. They do the sitcom finale where, in Full House, when Michelle loses her memory and they have to revisit all the hit episodes in which Uncle Joey and Jesse go and sing Elvis songs to her to sleep. They do that with this one.
Except it's not a flashback.
No.
They go back.
They just revisit all of the hit movies. They go back to the Avengers. They go back to Thor: The Dark World. They go back to...
All right, you say hit movies. That's one hit movie.
Shut up. You know what I mean. But they go back to the Guardians of the Galaxy. They go back to all these different movies.
They go back to Infinity War.
They do. They go back to Captain Marvel for a hot second.
When?
Captain Tony go back even further to...
well, that was 1970.
Yeah, that was immediately post... that's why the Tesseract was there. It's immediately post Captain Marvel.
Is it?
Yes. Yeah, because the Tesseract comes to Earth. Nick Fury gets it through the events in Captain Marvel.
Okay, I thought it was in 1970. I got confused.
No. The scene is in 1970.
But Captain Marvel's in 1990.
Wait, hold on. You're totally right. That doesn't make
now
sense.
Now you're confusing me with this.
Yeah. Wait, hold on.
We gotta do our own Avengers nerd line.
Yeah. Wait a second. Because I was under the impression that the reason that the Tesseract got to the facility was because of the events in Captain Marvel.
No, I think they just had it because. Yeah, no, remember Howard Stark fished it out of the ocean when he was looking for Cap.
Oh, you're
That's
right.
That's probably what happened.
You're right. It got there from Cap.
We're going too far. So, yeah, they decided to split into 3 teams. One to New York in 2012, one to Asgard in 2013, and the 4th to Morag, the planet that had the Power Stone, in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
So, now I split up the next summaries into the different teams. So, we'll do all of New York first.
Oh, well, I mean, we don't need to describe the plot or anything like that.
No,
we just need to hit on the badass moments.
Yeah, I know. But I'm trying to keep us organized.
Okay.
Because this movie is fucking ridiculous.
It is. It also, the time travel components of all the time travel movies that have existed, this is the cleanest, I thought.
Yeah, this is the one that, doesn't feel cheap at all.
Yeah.
They earn everything in this movie.
Yeah, they work for every inch.
It works.
But yeah, they in a lesser movie done by any lesser writer or director or whatever, it's just it could have gotten so confusing, so convoluted.
Absolutely.
And it does not here. So I give them massive props for pulling that off.
And that's the first third of this movie. Time for the second third.
Yeah, well, first act of the movie.
Yeah.
And this is where it starts actually getting badass.
Yeah. So New York 2012. They all show up in an alley.
Cut to the iconic scene.
They're all spinning in the circle.
Of this spinning rotation of the circle of all of the Avengers, Hulk roaring and them charging at the different aliens and killing them and all that stuff.
The first thing I remember from this scene is the 2012 Hulk come by and smash shit and then fly away, and then current Hulk's just like, ugh, I guess I gotta blend, and he just tears off his shirt and he just reluctantly just whacks a taxi,
half-heartedly,
and
just
throws a motorcycle,
chucks a motorcycle, just goes yeah, so funny, so freaking funny.
I think the Hulk has had his best scenes in this movie.
Yeah, I think so too.
Just the dynamic and the stairs we have to talk about later.
The stairs? Oh yeah. The whole stairs of him running down, just stairs.
So there are 3 stones. So they all split up.
Yeah.
Banner goes to the Ancient One.
Yeah. Which Tilda Swinton does another fantastic.
Tilda Swinton's back.
Yeah,
she's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that because conversations like these in time travel movies usually suck because you have to be like, all right, hear me out, but I'm from the future, and I need this to go back to the future, and I'll bring it back to you, and then the other person's just like, I don't follow.
But and the Ancient One just knows everything.
The Ancient One knows a lot of this shit. She knows about Stephen Strange. She knows everything up until she dies.
Mm-hmm.
So she doesn't know about Infinity War, obviously, which works well for what Hulk says to her.
Mm-hmm.
But she's just like, I know exactly what you're saying, but no.
Yeah. And I also want to give Marvel credit because this is the first time that we ever see Hulk be useful outside of smashing shit. Yeah. And it's just him being a persuasive individual. And it's, it's just it's so nice to see that character in such a different setting.
Yeah. And the Ancient One was so set in absolutely not. Because, of course, it's the fucking time stone. Yeah. And then Bruce is like, if it's so important, then why'd Doctor Strange give it to Thanos?
Oh, yeah. And then that's how he convinces her.
And then she was like, that's just instant 180. She's like, he's the best of us.
Mm-hmm.
He must have done it for a reason. I have to follow through with this.
And I also like the fact that they give a visual presentation of the entire plan.
She makes a timeline.
Yeah.
And explains it to us.
And they do it in such a way that it closes the loop.
It makes sense.
So that there's no real-time paradox in the reality.
It works out because the people in the present, that shit's all set in stone. And if you change anything in the past, it just kind of makes a new reality for those versions of the characters.
Right. And so
it all keeps it very clean.
So when Hulk, the plan that they work out with the Ancient One is essentially, the Hulk comes back. Well, they'll use the Infinity Stones to set everything straight,
And bring it
then
back.
they'll come back and put the stones exactly where they took them
in
from.
like 5 seconds their time.
Exactly.
So that's fine, and that's great. So Ancient One's like, sure, here you go, and then Hulk just goes like, whoop, right back to the present.
Yeah.
Done. One down.
One Infinity Stone down, 5 to go.
That was probably one of the easiest ones to get.
Yeah, and then we see the stealth mission. My favorite moment of the time heist is them stealing the next 2 stones from the Avengers.
These are the best.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which
first
one do you
off,
want to attack first?
I want to do the Captain America stuff first. First of all, just like Tony nagging on Cap for his outfit and the way it makes his ass look.
Listen, any movie in which I get to look at Chris Evans' ass is
down
a great
with it.
movie.
And then just Ant-Man delivers my favorite line of the whole movie. He's like, don't listen to him, Cap. That's America's ass. And he salutes it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, that's so funny.
And that comes back later, but it's just Marvel has such a great knack for giving classic lines like that.
Yeah.
Like
that. Oh, that was the joke. I was like, hopefully this year Chris Evans wins Sexiest Man Alive with like the tagline on the magazine, like America's ass.
Weirdly enough, I think that Us Weekly, or is it Us Weekly?
I don't know.
Sexiest Man
I don't
Year?
care.
Okay, yeah, good point. But yeah, I wonder if they'll. You know what? No, I hope they do that.
They should, right?
They should do that.
It's because it's like anyone who hasn't seen Endgame won't get it, and everyone who does is like, I'm buying this.
Yeah.
I'm framing this.
Everyone that hasn't seen Endgame will be like, huh, that's clever.
It's clever because he's Captain America. That's fun.
And he's got an ass.
He has a butt.
He has one of the butts.
So yeah, that made me very happy. And then he reaffirms it later when he beats himself up and he looks at his own ass and he's like, that is America's ass.
America's ass.
It's like, yay!
Again, such a nice thing. It's also okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves again.
Actual plot time.
Okay, so then we see Loki impersonating Captain America, which was such a subtly done thing, but such a nice thing of seeing the wrap up of Avengers, the first Avengers.
Yeah.
After I think I'll have that drink now.
Yeah.
It almost feels like a behind the scenes.
It does. It did look like behind the scenes, and Tony's like, all right, let's start posing. Like, stuff like that.
Yeah. And then we have the crew come in that we learn later in a later movie. Is Hydra.
But so Cap knows this, and he plays that to his advantage. He gets in the elevator, and when he did, I was like, they're going to do another, like, elevator fight scene from Winter Soldier.
I mean, it was the exact same shot.
That's what I was like, this is what's happening. And then this just shows, like, a nice evolution in Cap's character. He's like, he's become, like, an even better strategist somehow, where he's like, I don't have to fight here.
Such a genius.
And he calls back to that one Marvel comic where Cap's just like, Hail Hydra.
Oh, is that what you think that was a reference to?
I think that was.
Okay.
Because that blew up the world in, like, 2016.
Yeah, but I think that one line, that was like an actual plot point, and that was really freaking dumb.
I think this was a reference to that.
Oh, you think so?
Where he's in the elevator and he's like, Corporal wants me to take the scepter, and everyone's like kind of eyeballing him, ready to like, fucking kill him.
Yeah.
And then he just leans over to the guy like holding the scepter, and he's just like, Hail Hydra.
And the guy gives him him the stone.
Here's the scepter.
Yeah.
We got you. You got it.
And
absolutely.
It was such a. Oh man, I love Captain America so freaking much.
And then on his way downstairs, he runs into himself.
Well, we're not there yet. The reason why that fight scene ensues is because Tony and Paul Rudd, and Ant-Man. I'm gonna keep calling him Paul Rudd because it's just
okay.
He's Scott Lang, but he's playing himself in the movie. Like, yeah. But they fuck up their retrieval mission.
All right, so let's go to them real quick.
Yeah.
You take the setting. For
in which so the idea essentially is we'll give ourselves Tony sends Paul Rudd down to small size to give Tony Stark a cardiac arrest
in 2012.
Such that they can just take the stone and leave. But that doesn't exactly work. What actually ends up happening is Tony gets the stone, and then remember how we mentioned that Hulk has to walk downstairs
because the elevator weight limit
in one of the funniest fucking things.
For like super long time. I remember your like cry laugh, like when he was like stairs.
Oh, stairs! Such a funny thing. of just the Hulk having to cram down all these stairs. But then after Tony's walking by, and in almost a cartoonish moment, Hulk throws open the door, knocks Tony Stark unconscious.
The Tesseract flies out of the case right to Loki's foot, and he's just like, really? No one's gonna stop me? Okay. And he just picks it up and teleports away.
And bamps away, yeah. And so it was, and then after all the chaos and the cardiac arrest is fixed and stuff like that, Thor saves him.
Thor just taps him.
Yeah, Thor saves
with his
him.
hammer.
Yeah,
and I had no idea that would work.
Yeah, exactly.
I forgot about that.
They recapture almost an innocence in this sequence that the first Avengers movie had that we have gotten far away from.
Yeah, it still felt low stakes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm just giving myself cardiac arrest because back in 2012 nothing could touch me.
Exactly. But it's also the dynamic of Thor and Cap and everything like that.
They're just also innocent.
Yeah. It shows how much character development happened, number one, but also how much Civil War, I think, changed everything.
Yeah, this movie, Endgame, really rewards people who have watched all the movies.
Every single movie.
Like, in a way that not even Infinity War did.
No, I agree.
It was so, like, every, like, second I was like, yeah, and that, what?
I remember that reference.
I understood that reference.
God,
I'm so glad we're friends.
I hate
high
the
five.
He's holding up the high
Come
five.
on.
No, I can't.
Come on.
That was a
Thanks.
Oh God, I hate that so much that we both did that at the same time. Jesus.
Oh, we are nerds.
God.
Yay. So, yeah, anyway, they got 2 out of 3.
Yeah, and so and then everyone's looking around like, "Oh God, the Tesseract is gone. Where's Loki? He's gone." And so they're all looking for him, and at that exact moment, Captain America, the 2012 Captain America runs into
present day Captain America.
Yeah, and they fight, and it's so awesome.
Yeah.
It's so great.
It's so awesome. And it's so great how present day Cap beats himself.
Uh-huh.
That sounds really messed up, but no, it's actually really nice.
No, it is. It's like, that happens a couple different times during the movie, in which the characters that have probably the most character development...
They play advantage to their ignorant past selves.
Well, they actively have to defeat their older selves.
Yes. And Cap just was like, while he was being choked out by his past selves, just like, Bucky's alive.
Yeah.
And just completely stunned him.
Yeah, and well, there's that, but it's also a matter of, Captain America present day is knowledgeable to the world in a way that old Cap was not.
Yeah.
And so in defeating himself, he defeats his innocence, and we see a similar thing happen later on with Nebula when she has to actually kill herself.
Oh, yeah.
In order to save the day. So that's a really nice little element where they literally have to defeat their old selves. But yeah, in a fantastic fight sequence.
Absolutely amazing.
I don't know how they filmed it, but I really liked that.
Well, stunt double.
True, I guess.
Because one of them was wearing, like, the hood.
Which is a great way to differentiate,
Yeah,
period. Yeah,
perfect. Good work.
Yeah, and then they grab the scepter, Cap grabs the scepter, grabs the shield, just goes, "That is America's ass," and walks off screen. And God, I love Steve Rogers so much. I am going to miss him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. There's a lot that happened in this movie.
Oh yeah, we're barely halfway through, not even.
No, not even.
Yeah.
All right, and then so they have 2 out of 3,
and then they
Hulk's back in present day, so it's just Cap, Tony, and Paul. Paul Rudd.
Paul takes the scepter and he goes back, but
reluctantly.
But
and Cap and Tony are like, okay, we need to go to a place that has both the Tesseract, or time that has both the Tesseract and more Pym particles.
Yeah.
So they figure the only real time they can think of is 1970 S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters.
Right, because that's when Hank Pym was developing the Pym particle.
Yes, and they also had the Tesseract
At the same place.
So they get there, they split up. Cap gets the Pym particles, Tony gets the Tesseract, and they both run into old, awkward friends.
Well, yeah, and this is another moment in which it's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
We get to see the conclusion of we see a conclusion of each of their arcs in which Tony Stark meets his dad.
And has, like, a really nice talk with him.
Like,
I thought, like, something's gonna go wrong here.
Oh, yeah.
But no, it was just a beautiful ending to his story.
Mm-hmm. It was so much so, in which he gives parenting advice to his old dad, and that's funny. And Cap gets to see Agent Carter as the director of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Which is awesome.
It's so I used this word before, but it's so satisfying. It's so nice to see Cap see his old flame.
That would probably be my one word review for this movie.
Satisfying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah. It's just, to see his old flame in a world without him.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, it was a beautifully done thing. And then they bamfed back to present day, and let's go to the Guardians of the Galaxy part of this.
50 minutes in, let's go to the next page.
Oh.
Okay. Well,
this one's shorter.
Yeah, let's do Asgard.
Okay. Right.
Because that's a shorter like culmination of scenes, but it is
Thor's a wreck.
Yeah, after
essentially
out of like the 3 missions, this is the one I didn't like the most.
Okay.
Like I still liked it, but out of the 3, it was the one where I was like, this was it was okay.
Yeah, it was also I think they put the emphasis on too much on Thor for this one. Like,
well, it's
Rocket
Asgard.
but Rocket saved the day, and we learned nothing about him.
Well, Thor was also the one who's broken here.
True.
Thor was the one who needed to recover.
Yeah, it's just, what did we learn? We learned that Rocket was capable and competent in a way that few others are.
Yes, and also Thor would have probably absolutely been able to do this if it was anywhere other than Asgard, but right before his mom died.
Well, he was also drunk off his ass, so I don't know if I agree with that. But
well, definitely less capable.
Capable, yeah. He was not the hammer throwing badass.
He was going through a lot.
But like the other two, of the main trilogy, he also, you're right, he got his moment alone with his mentor. He got a culmination of sorts.
Yes.
With his with someone that he
got
loved.
He got closure with his mother.
Yes, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Closure.
And Rocket got the
ether,
the MacGuffin, the one of 6 MacGuffins.
Yeah, which he extracted out of Jane. They kind of skipped over that detail.
Yeah. Like they was like, that's probably for the best.
Yeah.
Like you could just cut to him like approaching with the device and then running away from guards. I get it. We're good.
You're right. It's perfect, but it's just that's the closest thing that we got to. Man, I love Rocket so much.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm glad they kept him around. I do wish they used him a bit more.
Yeah. But you know what? I loved just every interaction he had with everyone, and because they did the time jump 5 years in the future, they didn't have to have the constant mind blown of like, I'm talking to a raccoon. It was like, no, everyone's probably used to it at this point.
They did for a hot sec when Tony came back immediately. What was the line that he gave?
Until now, I thought you were a Build-A-Bear.
Such a funny line, like the very beginning of when he's starving to death, and that was so funny.
So they're both ready to go, and Thor was just like, fuck it, and he takes Mjolnir from his past self.
Yeah, and he bams off, and it's also a great victory moment for Thor, because he's like, I'm still worthy. That he actually says that, right?
Yeah.
And it's just such a...
That was like the reassurance she needed.
Yeah, and I mean, granted, we never see ripped Thor again. I don't know if we ever will.
We will. He'll probably be like getting on his way in the next Guardians film.
Yeah, just working out and all that. Yeah.
Like still kind of like a lean dad kind of.
I mean, he was the pinnacle of a dad bod in this.
Oh yeah, no, this was like the intense dad bod.
Yeah, and they made it badass with the little braided beard that they had during the final battle sequence.
We're skipping ahead. But no, so much. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so then let's go to Morag.
This is Asgard was the shortest one.
Yeah,
which is fine. Yeah. 2014. So 4 people did this mission, but they went to 2 different places.
Right. So it was Nebula and War Machine went to Morag, and who were the 2 that went to?
Clint and Nat.
Oh God, yeah.
Like you could forget.
I did for a hot sec, but that was such an emotional scene.
Yeah. Let's do Morag first.
Oh, you sure?
Just 'cause it's really quick.
Okay. Yeah.
So Clint and Nat.
Fuck off to the Soulstone place.
Yeah, they go to the Soulstone place, which right then I was like, well, that's gonna suck later.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're losing one of those guys. Yeah.
But Rhodey and Nebula just walk over to get the Power Stone. They hide for for when Quill shows up, and that was hilarious.
That was such a nice moment too, of Peter Quill just dancing around like a fucking lunatic.
And then cuts to when they are from what they're seeing.
Yeah.
And he's just like, come and get your love.
Chris Pratt in his prime.
He's just a darling. He's still in his prime.
I know, but it's just like that moment was just like they cast the right guy.
It's like a 10-year prime.
Yeah, it was so nice, and then Rhodey just goes, "Oh, so he's an idiot," and he's like,
Yep.
"Yeah." And then they knock him out. They grab they grab the Power Stone, and Rhodey fucks off Back to the Future.
And Nebula was tried to at the same time, but got stopped because of other Nebula.
Yeah.
So here's where Thanos comes in again.
Yeah, and I thought they did this pretty well. Of like they synced up of when they were showing the reality in which Nebula was the future thing. I thought that was a very nice sequence.
That sentence made no sense.
Shut
to
up.
me,
Hold
and
on.
I saw the movie.
Hold on. Okay, let me walk through it again. The scene in which they used Nebula's memories as a projector screen.
Okay, yes.
Like, kind of like the Star Wars, save me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're our only hope,
Yeah.
but it's the death of Thanos.
And it didn't come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Because she's used that before.
Right.
But yeah, no, I agree. So Thanos is with his two daughters when they're still like with him, like they're still sworn to him. And Nebula of 2014 just starts freaking out, and then a projection of Rhodey comes up.
Yes.
And he's like, "Who the fuck is that?" You know.
And there was a whole big thing of like, oh, is she a traitor or not? And
No, and then Ma was like, "No, someone else is using the Nebula Wi-Fi system or whatever it is."
yeah, they kind of glossed over that detail, but it was
like,
okay.
No, it makes sense though, because like within 5 years, well, actually it's more than 5 years, but within that amount of time, like
10 years at that point.
like why would her system need to be updated in like that kind of way?
Yeah.
It's probably very similar, and the fact that like they both service on the same thing, it makes sense that she would like hook up to her past self.
Well, yeah, and that was
in a bad way.
That was also the only moment in which the whole time paradox kind of came into play, of like two nebulas occupying the same plane of existence at the same time.
But it wasn't even like it still lined up, because it made sense within the context where it was like it's the same thing as if two people had like the same system and they both connected to the same place.
Yeah.
It didn't even have to be two nebulas, but it made sense that it was.
Yeah.
And this plot point is what made all of time travel in the MCU okay for me.
What do you mean?
Just because if they just did the time travel to get the stones, and they, it was still like bumbling and kind of like didn't almost work, but then they came back and it was still fine, and say like Thanos was still in the present, then it would have felt a little empty,
right?
Because it was used as a good convenience, but in Thanos finding out about the plan in the past, they made it almost worse.
Okay.
Which time travel was allowed them to almost save the day, but it almost made everything 1,000 times worse too.
Right. Okay, I see what you're saying.
I think in film, convenience is a great way to get your characters into trouble, but is a bad way to get them out of trouble.
I like that, actually.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, I agree with that.
That's what I think is so good about this whole scene. They used time travel so well in this film.
They
to
did.
A point where it was like I couldn't believe how much I like this.
I do agree. It was like, and they also acknowledge all of the previous scenes in the what was it? The first sequence in which they were trying out the time travel, and they were like, "Oh, this is you got to follow the Back to the Future rules, or the rules in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, or in this movie, or in that movie, or
Hot tub time machine, yes,
yeah, exactly. I really like that they made fun of that because
and Hulk just straight up like hardcore explained exactly how it works in this world. That's it.
Yeah,
done. Easy. I get it. Great. That's what we're doing. Got it.
Yeah. Very, very good.
Simple.
What else? What happened next?
Oh yeah. So then Thanos is all like, "All right, here's what we're gonna do." They capture present day Nebula. They learn everything about what happens in the future, or Thanos does, about how he gets his head cut off, and how he succeeds. And I love this part because the way he reacted was not like, "Oh fuck, I get my head cut off." It was like, no,
this is destiny fulfilled.
Yeah,
I believe it's the line.
I did it, and this is just my destiny, and that's good. The bad part was that if he doesn't do anything right at that point, the Avengers are going to undo it.
Right.
So that was like, all right, I need to step up my plan, and I need to change it to deal with this problem.
Right. Right. And that became his motivation. Is he changed a little bit from destroying half the universe to
Destroying
the universe and starting anew.
Yes.
Which he explains later on in a classic villain monologue.
Yes. They definitely what's the word? Sympathize. They desympathize Thanos in this movie.
We'll get to it later.
Which I like a lot. We'll
debate we'll talk about the whole Thanos dynamic actually after we work through all the badass moments of the movie. But yeah, so let's go to one of the more emotional moments of the movie.
Oh, and real quick, obviously Thanos sends past Nebula back instead of present day Nebula.
Oh yeah, she sends him back as a spy.
Yes, that's what happens. So then, okay, afterwards, Clint and Nat get to Vormir, the planet with the Soul Stone on it. They meet Red Skull, and he's just like, yeah, one of you gotta die.
Pretty much.
And after a lot of thinking, they're both like, no, this must be it, because Thanos came here with his daughter and left with the Soul Stone. So they came to the solution that, like, one of them's gotta die.
And then there was this whole big emotional scene of each of them trying to commit suicide before the other one
The juxtaposition between this scene and the one in Infinity War is incredible.
It is.
Because it shows a fundamental difference in personalities between Thanos and the assassins, I guess we'll call them.
Yeah, okay, that works.
These two specifically, where they're just like, Thanos is just like, yeah, I've got to do this for the world. It's like, I know, but it's like,
but
it's a but moment where it's like, really, like, you could still do a lot of damage with 5. And
yeah,
these guys know that they have to get it, and they're both ready to sacrifice. And I think they did a great job with subverting expectation here, because I thought wholeheartedly Hawkeye was going over.
Oh yeah, me too.
Which is, I think that's why they did the whole assassin scene and he lost his family in the beginning scene, because you want to set him up for that type of redemption.
Right.
But Black Widow says no to that. And she sacrifices herself
dives
instead.
over the thing. Yeah.
So yeah, Natasha Romanoff's dead,
which is fitting. I'm upset because I was hoping for a Black Widow movie down the line.
It's gonna happen. It'll be a prequel or something.
I could see them doing like a Black Widow TV show on the Disney Prime or the Disney Plus rather, streaming service.
It'll happen.
But yeah, I'm gonna miss ScarJo. She
did a great job.
It was also a very, very fitting end to that character.
Yeah, she killed it.
Yeah.
It was the most selfless way to do it for the greater good.
100%.
See, that's another thing. That's another difference between the Avengers and Thanos. Thanos, when he says for the greater good, he sacrifices someone else.
Yeah,
but when an Avenger says for the greater good, they mean I'm going to die, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
And that just shows us a fundamental difference in personality, in my opinion.
I don't want to get too much into my meta-analysis until after we go through all the different points, but I do have something to say about that.
Cool.
So we'll get to it later.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, that's the end of the
second beat.
That's the end of the sitcom part.
Yeah. They all go back and they're just like, what great times.
Memories.
And then they're like, oh, crap, Black Widow's dead.
Yeah, which is sad. But they have all 6, and they did it.
They do. And it was a great thing of, how do I put this? There was, it was a great moment in which there was a victory for the characters on screen, but everyone in the audience, at least I did, but it felt like it was throughout the theater. It was like the sense of unease because we knew there was a spy up there.
Yeah, like there's that one little thing that happened that no one else knows about. Where it's like, Thanos knows he's coming. So you gotta do this fast.
Yeah.
So, right away, like they didn't waste any time.
No.
They got all the soul stone. They got all the stones, and they put them on an Iron Man gauntlet, which was awesome looking.
It was pretty badass.
And eventually Hulk was like, I should be the one to do it, which I agree with. If anyone could take it, it's him.
Right, in his Hulk state.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So...
And then he does it. It's a very, very hard for him to do because it's not as, which I liked. I liked that they put the thing in where it was like very difficult for him to do it.
Yeah.
Because in the original Infinity War, they said that Peter Dinklage's dwarven giant character created the only thing that could wield them without damaging the wielder.
Yeah, like everyone who put that thing on really was like, ow, 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 ow.
Ow, ow. Yeah, just like feeling so much pain. So I respect the fact that
and that gauntlet, like even the gauntlet that was made for Thanos was still like not completely like perfect.
Right.
Like it's still really like you got that rush like when you put it on, but what it settles down.
Yeah. And then yeah, that's true actually. When you put it all in, you saw it, but it was never a painful pulse of power.
It was like intense.
Right.
It looked, but no, this looked painful.
Exactly. They charred off. It almost charred off Hulk's arm entirely.
No, he needed a cast.
Yeah.
But like he barely got that snap off, and it worked.
It did. Well, we find out later.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was all we know is that he snaps at the exact moment that that Nebula sends the past Thanos into the present,
and he grows up. So yeah.
He blows up. He blows through the sky and everything. And there's this beat.
Well, it does. We know it does work because Clint gets a call.
Well, yeah. There's this beat of like everything's working out. Of like we see Laura
just the
call,
peaceful silence.
Yeah. We see Laura call and Clint answers and he hears his wife's voice and Ant-Man goes.
He's looking at butterflies.
Yeah. He's like, guys, I think it works. And then just boom.
Yeah.
Huge.
Thanos fucking blows up the entire HQ.
Yeah.
He leaves nothing.
It was such a well-executed moment of as you said, a lot of what we heard was we heard a lot of in reviews was there are 3 very distinct beats to this movie.
And there are very distinct transitions.
Yes, and this is one of them. Just like we see
Hulk lies down and he looks up and he sees the ship and the rockets like coming toward them fast, but it's so quiet and it's just like that moment of oh fuck.
Yeah, and we just it's just such a great thing where it's I thought Ant-Man was gone when he just when the explosion happens and you just see him get yeeted like way like far away. What's the past tense of yeet? Is it yeeted or is it yoked?
I don't know. You're asking me?
Yeah.
I'm not a grammar man.
Are you a slang man? Are you a cool kid?
No.
Oh.
I'm talking about Avengers Endgame with you, and it's been over an hour.
Well, and?
So I don't know cool.
I think that this... All right, whatever. But anyway, Ant-Man gets yoked away after the explosion.
And then now everyone's buried under rubble, of course.
Which is such an such an intense moment of everybody gets separated. You don't know who made it. Yeah. There was just like close-ups of every single character just starting to stir and stand up. I thought that we were going to see someone just be gone. Completely.
Yeah, I was ready for that too. Mm-hmm. I didn't think it was gonna happen, but I was like, that definitely could.
Yeah. What about him? What about him? Was just the thought going on through that.
Absolutely.
Just like, oh fuck, who did they get?
So, after that, Thanos beams down, and he's just like, daughter, go get the stones. And she's like, what will you do? And he's like, wait here for you, obviously.
Yeah.
So no, he's just like he's waiting for the Avengers to show up.
Yeah, and they were aware that it was a trap when such a beautiful fight sequence of the Trinity fighting Thanos.
All right, but real quick,
what?
Before we get into that, Clint gets the gauntlet. He finds it underground, and he runs away from the dog fuckers
that were in Wakanda.
Yeah. Those things are terrifying.
Yeah, they really are.
And he has a cool escape scene with that. I loved that.
Yeah, Hawkeye is such a badass in this movie.
Yeah, he really, this is my favorite Hawkeye movie.
He got made fun of so much underground, just like, oh, what are you fucking do? You got arrows and shit?
In Avengers 1, absolutely.
Yeah, you're just like, you're fighting these animal things with an archery. We've disposed of archery years ago, and this one, he actually pulls his own weight. There is no way that you can debate that Hawkeye doesn't have an Avenger.
He is an Avenger.
He doesn't have a place on the Avengers after this movie.
Absolutely.
He is like just so badass. Yeah.
Yes. So after that, like, a bunch of other stuff happens. Like, everyone's trapped underground, and it's all very suspenseful. And
Oh
amazing.
yeah, it's such a great sequence of Thor or of Hulk holding up the rubble just enough to get Rocket out, and all of they're like starting to drown and everything.
That reminded me of, I never read it, but like that famous comic panel where Hulk's holding up like half the Earth while all the Avengers are underneath. Like, they're all
I haven't
underground.
seen that one actually.
There's like a very famous like I don't know what it is, but like they're stuck in the middle of the Earth, and like the things are falling, and the Hulk alone is holding it up, and everyone else is just like, the fuck do we do?
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of.
Okay, you know what? Given Marvel's history with that, I'm sure that if that's a classic comic book cover, which I'm not familiar with,
I gotta look for it.
yeah, but like
I'll look for it later.
they do, but that's probably a tribute.
Yeah,
because they
that's what I'd
did
say.
A lot of tributes in Spider-Man: Homecoming when Spider-Man is trapped under the rubble.
Yep.
That's the classic one.
I've seen that.
They did exact panels in Infinity War to the original Infinity War.
I've seen that too.
Yeah. So yeah.
I know things.
You do.
But oh yeah, so Tony and Cap make it to the surface where they meet Thor, and he's just eyeballing Thanos, and they're like, "What's he doing?" And he's just like, "Nothing. He's just hanging out. He's just looking at me, and I'm looking at him." And then the three of them walk down. Thor suits up,
And they're all like, this is a trap, right? And they're like, yeah, but I don't care. And they
Let's go kill this fucker again.
And Thor is wielding Mjolnir and Stormbreaker
At the same time,
and this is when he gets the braided beard.
he gets the dreads,
And he starts looking like the Norse god he is, and it's just so
but he's still got the gut,
Yeah.
which I love.
Of course. Yeah, he's got the dad bod.
Yeah, no, I like it a lot. And then they confront Thanos yet again.
And it's such a nice scene of the Trinity just charging at him. And it's, oh god, it's so cool.
They start fighting. This entire fight was probably my favorite moment.
Yeah.
In the whole scene.
Oh no, there's one more that tops it for me, but which we'll get to in a minute. But
same.
Yeah.
No, I know what you're talking about,
Yeah.
and same.
Yeah.
I literally am still deaf in my left ear from your scream.
Yeah. But yeah, it's such a, oh my god, the whole fight sequence, and sure, they fight and then they cut away to some of the others escaping and shit like that, but who cares about them when this is the most badass moment ever of Thanos breaks Captain America's shield. He KOs Iron Man by holding him up. Iron Man takes the brunt of I can never pronounce the name. Mjolnir, and he KOs him, and Thor is getting his. It's a flip of the scene in which Thor comes down with Stormbreaker and gets Thanos in the chest and pushes it in and stuff.
Thanos is doing that to him.
It's a twist, and I also think the reason why, in the movie, in the meta part of it, one of the reasons that they made him fat outside of just, being hysterical is also because Thor could 1v1 Thanos.
That's what I was thinking, the same thing.
Yeah.
That was a very smart way to make it so that the three of them could not easily take down Thanos.
Right.
Like Thor at his prime, as we saw in Infinity War, was an easy match for Thanos with all 6 stones.
Yeah. Or, well, actually, the reason why he did that was because he took him by surprise.
Yeah, that's also true.
But yeah, he could totally 1v1 Thanos, even without the stones, for sure.
Yeah. So this was a clever way to be like, all right, all 3 of them need to work together.
Yeah.
And even then, it's going to be tough.
And then my favorite moment in the entire MCU.
Yeah, I gotta say, this is my favorite moment too.
Of just, you see a close-up of Mjolnir being, it just rising, and you see it slam into the side of Thanos' head.
And then it keeps flying.
It keeps flying, and it goes back to Captain America's head.
And he catches it.
And it's just, oh my god, the theater erupted in cheers.
Yeah, all I heard was,
I was freaking out because it's also it was a number one badass moment for Steve Rogers, and Thor was cheering just like, I knew it. And it just calls back to the Age of Ultron moment, and when they were lifting the
hammer, and Cap almost got it.
He moved it, makes me wonder if Cap was faking in that moment, or if he just,
well, because it's here's the thing, it was he would have gained nothing from lifting it at that point. It was just made Thor look like an asshole.
Exactly. You're right. Yeah.
And he's like a cool dude, so he would have probably been like, maybe not. Not right now.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, oh man, it was. And then Captain America kicks the crap out of Thanos
for a little
using Mjolnir or whatever the name is. Oh my god!
Summons thunder. He just like he got the power of Thor.
He fucking killed it. Oh my god!
That was the most incredible moment.
Just like, I will give the Russo brothers every penny I make for the rest of my life just for that moment.
The movie could have ended there, and I would have been happy.
I would say yes. Except for the moment that happened immediately next.
Oh, yeah. Well, a lot of cool shit happened after that, too.
Yeah, of, like, just the fight sequence of, and that's when I think, actually, that's when Thanos breaks Captain America's shield.
Yeah, after he fights him with Mjolnir.
Yeah. And it's just,
he hits his lowest.
Yeah.
Thanos is like, all right, we're done here. Bring in the things.
And we see every enemy associated with Thanos.
The Black Order, the Chitauri, the goo monsters.
The monsters from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
From the first Avengers movie.
Literally Thanos knew he had to bring everything to get rid of this fucking planet.
And at this moment, for whatever reason, I forget the reason why, but Iron Man and Thanos are down, and so you get the most beautiful shot. I want this on my wall of just Captain America walking with a broken shield, just standing up and walking towards this huge army. And it's just this magnificent shot of, I could tell it was on his lips and he didn't say it, and he didn't have to. I could do this all day.
I'm glad he
was waiting for that. I was waiting, and I'm okay with them not, because it was implied.
He had a better line later anyway.
Yeah, and it was just like he was ready to start fighting all these guys. And then the culmination of 22 movies, 11 years, all worth it for this one moment of you just see Cap going, and you just hear a little walkie-talkie screech.
On your left.
Exactly. Just get Cap, you there? Cap, Sam, on your left. And over Captain America's left shoulder, you see the little sparkle circle thing.
It starts opening.
From Doctor Strange's thing, and it opens, and every character you could have possibly cared about from the past 22 freaking movies appears slowly, one by one.
In, like, a bunch of different portals.
Yeah, like, you know, the Wakandans that disappeared, Shuri, M'Baku, T'Challa.
All the sorcerers.
I mean, I will say... Pepper Potts comes down as the freaking Iron Maiden. I don't know if that's actually her name, but it should be, because it's also the name of a great band. It's just like everybody appears. And the entire theater, I will say, at this moment was like, there were people chanting Iwambe along with the Wakandan army and everything like that. Oh, God. And after everybody gets a close-up of Spider-Man flying in, of the Guardians of the Galaxy appearing, of everything, the Captain America just says, Avengers, calls Mjolnir back to him, and just goes, assemble. Through, like, gritted teeth. And, oh, my God. Just, gonna give Marvel every dollar. Disney, let me put it this way, in reality, Disney is taking over the world. There is no question in my mind. They are achieving a monopoly on the entertainment industry, and it might mean some problems for America's economy in the future, or the state of Hollywood.
There's a part of me that doesn't care.
I do not make this happen. You can take over the world. I will worship. I will the Mickey Mouse can be the president of the globe. I do not care.
Homer Simpson said it best when he said, "Let's all bow down to our new corporate overlords,
the House of Mouse." Just, oh God, give me everything that they are doing. They are doing it right. Just, oh God. Oh man.
And then a fight happens.
The biggest, fuck Helm's Deep. Fuck the battles in Narnia. Fuck everything, on par with all of that. In the top 3 most awesome fight sequences of all time. I've never seen Game of Thrones, but I'm sure as hell Game of Thrones can't do anything significantly better than this. Oh my God.
You're gonna get some shit for that.
I don't give a shit. See the damn movie. Oh man. should have expected one of the nerdiest, one of the greatest, if not the single greatest, nerdy movie franchise of all time to culminate the way all incredible movie franchises do with a badass final battle sequence, but I was not expecting
This was the badass final battle sequence.
Yeah, like Battle of Hogwarts. What the fuck is that? Get it? Like this was the fight of the century, and we saw I think every single character get at least one moment.
Yeah.
Of Iron Man and Captain America and Thor,
plenty.
obviously. Also, that's such a charming moment of when Captain America grabs Stormbreaker and Thor grabs Mjolnir.
No, I want the big one.
Oh, well, I want the big one. Yeah, they switch. Just such a fun moment. And it's so great. And you see Okoye kicking ass and killing people. T'Challa gets the gauntlet for a while and runs it.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
They played like their mission in this this fight was get the gauntlet to Scott's van so they could throw it back to wherever they came from so Thanos can't grab them.
Right, and that was the motivation was that we can handle the army as long as we get it away from Thanos and stop it from happening again.
Yeah, like Spider-Man got it for a bit, T'Challa got it for a bit. Who's carrying it first? Clint,
Hawkeye,
Captain Marvel.
Well, yeah, that was the badass entrance that we were all waiting for.
Yeah.
But yeah, Doctor Strange was like holding back the waters with his magic. Wong was instructing the army of sorcerers to like defend and everything like that.
Yeah, that was Wong was probably one of my favorite characters, like minor characters in the MCU.
I agree.
To Korg.
Next to Korg. Was Korg there? I hope he was there.
I hope he was there somewhere. Like
Valkyrie appeared.
Yeah, when this movie comes out, we're going to be pausing every frame.
Oh, yeah.
And just like,
Every frame was a cinematic masterpiece. Just, oh, man. I am just flabbergasted by the beauty of this scene. There was one moment in which Thanos was getting beaten the crap out of, I forget by who, but he was like, fire, make it rain fire. He said it more badass than that, but he said, make it rain fire. And one of the Black Order's men was just like, but sir, our army. And Thanos was like, I don't care, do it. And the onslaught of laser blasts and everything like that come down.
Yep.
And then we get the Captain Marvel
Then
entrance.
they all point up and they're like, what are they pointing to? Something just entered the atmosphere. I'm like, here she is.
Yeah, we've been waiting.
We win.
And she demolishes all the ships and everything like that, and just starts fucking shit up.
That was crazy.
Oh, man.
So good.
And at one point, Spider-Man has the moment of, what was the name of his suit? Karen, activate instant kill. Activating instant kill. And he just starts...
So many little callbacks.
So many...
To just other movies.
Yeah, such... Like even my favorite line in the movie, on your left, was the Captain America, the Winter Soldier line. And then there was that whole girl power moment, which was so nice.
It was good.
Where Valkyrie, Okoye, Captain Marvel, Shuri, Pepper Potts as
Gamora
Iron Maiden.
of the past.
Oh, yeah. Gamora's back.
We didn't even mention Gamora of the past.
Oh, yeah, but that was also a nice moment.
Yes.
In which she kicked Peter Quill in the balls a couple times.
Yeah, and she was like, this is him? And Nebula's like, it was either him or a tree.
Such a great line. I love it. Because, again, character development, it's such a...
Gamora and Nebula have come such a far way in, like, 3 movies.
Yeah, they really, really have. And they all start kicking ass, and then Thanos chucks his dual-wielded spear axe thing, or whatever it's called, into Scott's van. Oh yeah, and they hung the thing, such a nice callback, really was. Wasp came back.
Yeah, I love her.
Yeah, she kicked ass too. Just fucking everything. Like, whose dick do I have to suck to make more of that shit? I'm
Kevin Feige.
I'll do it gladly. Are you kidding me?
Nah, don't worry.
That man gave me so much.
Dude, that man's fine. Don't worry. You don't need it. He's got plenty of men to suck his dick.
Yeah, just every nerd in the world should just line up.
That would be a fun ride at Disneyland. Like, suck Kevin Feige's dick.
Oh Lord,
3-hour wait.
I mean, legitimately, they will never do that, and I don't think Kevin Feige ever would. But like,
No.
it would make money.
I'd ride that.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, back to the final parts of this movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Captain Marvel faces off with Thanos, and that's awesome.
And he uses a Power Stone. He beats her.
Yeah, he very cleverly rips it off the gauntlet that he gets, by the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He makes it.
He puts it on his other glove, and he just zaps her with it, like in a surprise.
Oh no, he punches her with it.
Oh, that's also
Which is I loved even more because it's like, Thanos' punches are fucking awesome.
But he needs the Power Stone to punch Captain Marvel.
He does, because Captain Marvel is that badass.
That good.
But yeah, he takes her out.
So he gets the gauntlet, he puts it on, and puts it on before Captain Marvel gets to him. But then he's like getting ready to snap, and Tony looks over to Strange, and he just pulls up the one finger.
And that was a great interaction too earlier on in the thing when Strange comes back, and Tony's just like, Strange, I gotta know. You said there was one future in which this works. Is this it? And Strange just goes, if I tell you, it won't happen.
Which means you're gonna die.
Yeah, true. I mean, now we know that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But right before he snaps, Iron Man just goes at him one more time, very sneakily, just like scoops up the Infinity Stones off the gauntlet, just like, and then Thanos is just like, I am inevitable,
and
he's
finds out, yeah, wait, what
hello,
the hell's happening? And all of the Infinity Stones are stripped, which it's very similar to the first moment of the movie when they pick up the Infinity Gauntlet, like, we did it, and it's empty.
But Thanos is the one who is surprised now.
And it's reversed. And then Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark, has his final great line of having all of the Infinity Stones, just goes,
Go it.
I am Iron Man, and snaps away and dusts Thanos' entire army
and Thanos,
and that was a beautiful death sequence.
And then that was it. And then Tony dies.
Tony bites it.
Whatever.
Very much. I mean, he got the closure. Pepper Potts was there. He got to say bye to Peter. Pepper was like, "It's okay.
It was literally perfect.
Such a perfect thing.
Everything I could have wanted for that character happened in this movie or before.
And then we saw the whole funeral sequence, in which Tony got to give his own eulogy.
Yeah, of course, in a very Tony fashion.
In a very, very Tony fashion. His daughter was there. Everybody he ever loved was there. Representatives from every single movie franchise, from Wakanda, from the Guardians, from obviously every Avenger, Spider-Man and Aunt May. I looked up the one random guy. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I saw him.
Apparently, I didn't see Iron Man 3 because I heard
he was the kid from Iron Man 3. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, same actor. They didn't.
Well, something happened upstairs.
I hope that didn't trace on it. We'll find out.
It doesn't matter.
But
yeah, I was thinking that.
Regardless, yeah, I mean that's what it was. It was the same actor.
Iron Man 3 was pretty good.
I heard it was very bad.
Well, if you watch it now, I'm sure it's good because it's a very psychological film.
Oh, really?
It's not like, because it wasn't like action, and it was right after Avengers. Like, it was super just like Tony dealing with his own shit.
It was that was the one where like the enemy turned out to be an actor.
Yeah. Some people don't like that. I thought it was cool.
Okay. Well,
but you should watch it because I do think it's a good movie.
I will say the one thing that I didn't even mention the Stan Lee cameo.
Oh yeah, Stan Lee is in this movie for a second.
Yeah, his moment was in 1970. He's a hippie driving by he's driving doing 100 going past the military base in 1970, and he's just like free love or something like that. And it was a very nice end. That's Stan Lee's last cameo.
It's perfect.
But the one thing I wanted, the one thing that I think that would have made the movie even better, would have had everybody even in more tears than they did, is if Stan Lee was in the funeral party.
Oh, that would have been so nice.
Just like you pan around and you just see Stan Lee, doesn't even need a line, just like standing there, just mourning. And I mean,
I would have loved that. Yeah,
it's just like such a little thing that, I mean, it was beautiful without it.
Yeah,
but just such a little thing that would have been
so made me cry.
And then Nick Fury steps out and here's what I wanted, what I really wanted, because this is a PG-13 movie and you can say the word fuck once. I really wanted to see Samuel L. Jackson undust You know what I mean? Like,
And
they come
just,
together.
And just like, fuck her.
Yeah, exactly. Just completes it. Just because that's his catchphrase. It's just fuck. Just ends the movie with mother, starts with fucker. I love it. Did we have a fuck moment in this movie?
I don't think so.
We didn't need it. I'm just curious.
So anyway, wrapping up a few more things.
Yes.
Tony appoints Valkyrie as the Queen of New Asgard.
Which is so fitting.
Which is perfect. Yeah. And then tags along with the Guardians of the Galaxy to have space adventures.
Yeah, which
I love.
I recognize why they did it. And the reason why they did it is because Ragnarok was so hysterical. And it showed off Chris Hemsworth's... Hemsworth's... That's it, right?
Yeah.
Possessive range.
He just fits so nicely with them.
He does. So it works very well. And the dynamic between Chris Pratt and Chris Hemsworth...
it's great.
Or Quill and Thor, whatever you want to call him, will work so well. And I'm so excited to see it.
I just want a whole movie of him just hanging out with them. And they don't even have to do anything. They just hang out.
Yeah.
I'd love that.
Yeah, and it's... The Guardians 3 is still happening, right?
Yeah.
I remember that throughout the complications with James Gunn
He's
and all
back
that.
now.
Oh, he is? Okay. Gotcha.
Which everyone's very happy about. And I am too. But I think that's the first movie after the next Spider-Man film.
It's Spider-Man and then Guardians 3?
Yeah, but Guardians 3 is like a while away still.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a little bit of a hiatus.
Okay.
Which is good. Yeah. Honestly, this should be the hiatus starting film. I don't know why Far From Home's coming out in a few months.
You know what? I agree with that, actually. Because then it's also... I think everybody knew that the people being snapped away were going to come back in one fashion or another.
But you didn't have to put out a trailer for the next Spider-Man movie.
Right. It's just the reason... Or if they were to do that, say... You don't have to confirm that this movie happens after Endgame. You could very easily say... That's true. It would be very easy to say, you know, the Infinity War Spider-Man on the bus thing that we saw was him coming home from Europe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he said in that movie it was like field trip to the MoMA.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
I just remember him saying it was a field trip. But regardless, they didn't have to confirm that. Because even though this was a masterpiece of storytelling, how badass and ballsy...
The real world ruined it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just... it would have been so cool. Or not cool, but it would have been so influential if they just left everybody dead.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they didn't, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it would have been so
we
gutsy.
didn't get to experience the fact that might happen.
Right. I mean, we did. And we all knew that it wasn't going to last.
Uh-huh.
But, yeah, it was... That's just a thing that I could critique him for.
And now, the last thing in this movie was the final, like, big surprise... Cap goes back to return all the Infinity Stones to where they're supposed to be, and then he doesn't come back, and then they all look over, and they just see a man on a bench.
Old Man Rogers.
And it's just him. He said, I decided to live out the rest of my life back where it was taken from me. And it's so perfect.
So nice.
Perfect
Such
ending.
A fitting end to his character that he gets to live the life that he never did.
Yeah.
That he never got the chance to, rather. And yeah, in the final sequence of the movie... is flashing back and seeing him slow dancing with Peggy Carter.
And that's it. Then it ends.
Yeah, and
that is the end of the Infinity Saga.
Yeah. This is the end of Phase 3 of the Marvel Universe, of the MCU.
Yeah, and then whatever's next is going to be a different overarching story.
Yes, it's just... I talked with you about this after the movie, this was an incredible movie, and I'm so glad they made it, the culmination of 11 years of storytelling. But I wonder if they jumped the shark. Because how do you top this?
Well, they didn't jump the shark. They just would have to jump the shark after this to top it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you have another 11 years to establish anything before it's judged against this.
I would say, you just need... It has to be different enough where you almost feel like you can't compare it.
Right.
It would have to be something else.
Right.
Okay. And, our two biggest, the two biggest powerhouses... as in leadership and from a technological standpoint are done. So I mean, we really
if Tony was the main character in the second Tony was the main character in I lost my train of thought. Tony was the main character of the first 3 phases of the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
I think we can agree on that, right?
Sure, but not in an obvious way.
Right. He
in a meta and and he was always more of a focus.
In a meta fashion. I would agree with that. Yeah, in a meta fashion, he was the primary focus of the MCU.
Yep.
And part of me wonders if that's why they're doing Far From Home next.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Is like, is Spider-Man gonna be the next sort of main character type, where he's gonna sort of be like which I think would be a good choice, Spider-Man.
It would be an interesting choice. I don't know if it would be the best choice.
He's the most. He's the youngest, the most inexperienced. He's just every time you're with him is a good time.
Yes.
I think it's a smart choice. Spider-Man's the biggest part.
He represents innocence in these first 3 phases. So to see that evolve over the next few movies, that would be great. That would be very interesting.
And he is the one who's gonna go through the most changes the fastest.
Oh, he needs to.
Yeah, he's a teenager.
Yeah. Yeah. It's yeah, I agree.
There's still so much I want to talk about, but this is already by far our longest episode ever.
Well, that's not a but. We might as well just keep going.
All right.
I mean, what else do you want to discuss?
What was I going to say? I had something. Oh, yeah. My one question was so there was a 5-year time jump, of course.
Yes.
So, Peter, he's still in high school, though, right? Because, he didn't age.
Yes.
So, half of the people who were, 15 in 2018 are now 20 or something or whatever, and he's still 15.
And half of them are still 15.
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
It's going to make for a weird kind of...
It's going to be a weird adjustment period for the world.
Yeah, it is. I wonder if... Yeah, it's going to be so weird. It's so weird to think about, but yeah.
So, the logistics of that, just there's probably a lot of fun things you could think about.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, everything could be... There was near anarchy for a little while after
Absolutely.
that. But yeah. So, do you have any critiques of the film?
Honestly, I liked almost every single part of it. The time travel elements all made sense to me.
I agree.
Everything was done in a way that was very, very satisfying, as we have said.
Yeah.
There's not really anything that comes to mind that makes me want to say aside from the sluggish first third, but it's a very intentional part of the film.
It needs to be there.
Yeah, and I agree. But it makes you feel sad. But that's not a critique. That's a part of the movie.
Well, one thing that I will say is I agree with your time travel thing. They executed time travel better than I thought would ever be possible.
Yeah, they did a good job.
But one critique that I have, and I mentioned this to you after the movie, and I'm sticking by it, is that they changed Thanos' character.
Oh, we're talking about this. Okay.
Yeah, come on.
No,
this is the episode to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Mike and I have a disagreement on this.
Can I argue my point?
Well, absolutely. You argue your point, and then I'll prove you wrong.
Okay, cool. It's just part of the reason Infinity War was so compelling is because of the villains, and the MCU puts forth some great villains in recent years. There was Killmonger in Black Panther.
This does not help your point. Just
hold on. And there was Thanos. And the reason these two were great villains is because you could see where they were coming from.
Yeah, they're very sympathetic.
Exactly. They're sympathetic. They have a morality to them. This movie saw Thanos change from being a sympathetic, philosophically understandable character to a Saturday morning cartoon villain.
I think you're exaggerating.
Am I?
Yes.
The reason why I don't think so is because in the first movie, sure, he made sure, he was focused on killing half the universe, but his entire focus that he argued was, I am doing this to make life better for the other half. This movie saw him change to, all right, well, if that half doesn't like it, then I'm just going to destroy the universe and make my universe, the one that I want, which is much less this sympathetic, maybe he's morally okay.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Maybe it... What? Maybe he's morally... Oh, I see what you're saying now. I got you. That took me a second.
I don't know why I just thought of that.
Maybe his logic is morally acceptable to... He's gone way off the deep end and we need to stop him. And I do like a lot of what was done here to kind of be a parallel to the first movie, insofar as the first movie can be read as the main sin of the Avengers was their unwillingness to sacrifice anything to get what they wanted. Mm-hmm. There was the mantra of we don't trade lives.
We saw the negative perspective of the like not sacrificing, like what that can do in a negative context.
Right. If we don't trade lives, it leads to the death of half the universe.
Yes.
And in this movie, we saw it different. We saw most clearly, we saw Black Widow sacrificing herself.
Yes.
We saw Hawkeye willing to sacrifice himself. We saw Iron Man sacrificing himself.
And we saw and in almost a mirrored fashion, we saw the negative side of Thanos' part of the sacrifice. Like when you do sacrifice people, the negative side of that.
Sure. And I would agree with that, but that was the reason that the Avengers succeeded in this film is because they were willing to sacrifice for their beliefs. And I think that Thanos in this film lost that focus on his own sacrifice. He sacrificed his daughter, and we saw in this film, he sacrificed his daughter in the first film, which was a huge sacrifice for him. And in this film, as you kind of mentioned, there was a difference, and we saw what a real sacrifice looks like when we saw Black Widow and Hawkeye on Vormir. But regardless, this one wasn't about that. This was about him achieving what he wants. It was less about him doing what was best for the universe and more about him just making his powerful vision a reality. And I just thought that was, I mean, still a phenomenal movie. Wrapped up some characters in a better fashion than could have been possibly done. It just weakened the villainous nature of Thanos to make him so clearly in the wrong.
Yeah, and I still disagree with you on that. And I think, first of all, I absolutely think sympathizing Thanos was an absolute 100% intentional thing that they worked to do.
Right.
Like, this was not anything that was like a mistake. This was, they wanted to do this. And
I agree.
I understand why they did it. It was because in Infinity War, Thanos established himself and because he was the protagonist, obviously.
Yes.
In this movie, he is the antagonist. So therefore, you see less of him, and when he portrays himself, I still think he portrays himself to the heroes in very similar ways as he did to Infinity War, but with just different context. We don't get to see him a lot on his own without interacting with the heroes.
The reason I'm gonna disagree with that is because just because someone's a protagonist or isn't a protagonist doesn't mean that they're innately less sympathetic.
No,
so
that's not what I'm saying.
You know, in Breaking Bad, we followed Walter White, but I mean, at least in the later seasons, it was hard to be sympathetic for Walter White. But I don't know if I kind of see where you're coming from because we saw less of Thanos' logic. Is that your thing?
What I'm saying is not the link of a protagonist and sympathy. It's a link of having a look inside his head to understand where he's coming from. His decisions in this movie were probably, to him, just as logical and for the greater good type things as any of his other decisions. It's just we don't get to see that side of him in this film.
Okay.
And we also get to see him as a very, very, like, how he would act when he's, like, a 1 foot, like, behind the door in a sense, where in Infinity War, he was always in control of the situation, and he always was able to act super high and mighty. You have my respect, my child. Stuff like that.
Right.
When he is on the defending side and when he sees an opportunity to actually lose, we see a different side of him come out where he is willing to do whatever it takes, just like he always said in Infinity War, to accomplish his goal. And he just had to take that further to do that in this film because he saw he was able to do it in his future, but people are trying to ruin it now, and they can do it.
Okay.
That's what I see, and I think it works for the film, but I totally get where you're coming from.
Okay, and I do understand your point. I just think that I mean, it was necessary, and it does absolutely work for the film. There's no question about that. It's just a matter of
it's a big change.
It shifts how we perceive Thanos, and for better or for worse. That's what it is.
I can agree with that.
Yeah. All right. So that's the only thing that I really need to say beyond the only like I said, the only other thing I would change is put Stanley in the Iron Man.
Yeah, and I hardcore agree. I would love to see that. Yeah. But you know what? That's like, they didn't know he was gonna die.
Well, regardless, I think that it would have been a nice,
Absolutely.
a nice little touch.
I do think so.
But yeah, I mean, rest in peace, Stanley. Stanley, you made all of this possible.
Good job. I wish you could have seen this film.
Oh my God, I would have loved to have him see this film too. Well, regardless.
Well, that's it.
Yeah, so thank you guys so much for tuning in to us geek out about Endgame.
And if this is your first time here, then you don't know that it's time for a thing that we do every time. Bucket time.
Time for the pick and bucket.
Bucket.
Time to pick from the bucket. Time to pick from the bucket now.
Okay, yeah, that's a song. Now, we don't have the bucket here because I don't know where it is. But I'll find it. But we actually, because of our weird scheduling to get this episode up today, you're welcome.
Yes.
We recorded next week's episode last week.
We did.
So what was the challenge, Mike?
It was to not eat meat for a week.
We became vegetarians for a whole week, and that episode's coming up next week.
Yeah, so please tune in as we discuss what that was like.
Yeah, it was a very good episode, if I do say so myself.
I agree, so you should come back.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are this is the Weekly Undertaking, like we said.
Hooray! I'm Alex again.
I'm Mike again.
Da, 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 da.
We have a lot of people that help us with our podcast, namely Adam Rudy, who does the music, and Winston De Jesus, who did the cover art for the podcast.
Hell yeah!
They have their information in the description below, so show them some love. Yeah, this is a much longer episode than we normally do.
Oh yeah, we're usually 40 minutes.
Yeah, so
This is an hour and 45 minutes.
It needs to be this long.
Yes,
but
just
yeah.
like the movie.
So exactly. So yeah, please give us a like, comment, subscribe, whatever else they do. Leave a rate and review and tell a friend because that does really help us out. Yeah.
That's it.
That's all we gotta say.
We're done.
Yeah. Until next week, don't forget to challenge yourself.
And I love you 3000.
I love you 3000.
And try something new.
Good night, everybody.
It's time for me to sleep.
Absolutely.
My God.
Goodbye.
Good night.